Today we got two powerful mutants going head to head, Cyclops versus Gambit. Who wins? Well, let's find out. The first X-Men, Scott Summers possesses the mutant ability to draw ambient energy from another dimension through his eyes, which are actually portals to the dimension. Then he usually channels his energy into concussive force blasts. He's also visually distinctive for the ruby quartz visor he wears to control his devastating power. A born leader, Cyclops succeeded his mentor Professor X to command the X-Men. Like I said, Scott has the mutant ability to project powerful beams of force from his eyes, which also operate as extra-dimensional openings to a source of pure energy. Cyclops' mind generates a sonic field that's attuned to the same forces that maintain the openings, and this field envelops his whole body, protecting him from his own power. The width of his blast are controlled by his mind's sonic fields, and as he concentrates, he can control the flow of energy and the power of the beam. The maximum power of Cyclops' blast is really unknown, but it's been commonly described as being able to punch holes through mountains. He's even been able to rupture through steel plates, demolish tanks, temporarily hold back the Juggernaut, and destroy Sentinels. Cyclops also possesses an uncanny talent for spatial geometry, which allows him to see angles all around him and ricochets optic blast off of objects. He's honed this ability throughout the years, and is easily able to hit multiple targets at the same time. As a member of the X-Men, Scott has undergone extensive combat training, and is especially proficient in Judo and Aikido. He's also the X-Men's leader and chief strategist. It's been remarked that the less time that Scott has to think about a situation, the better it tends to be. Then, in the other corner of Gambit. Gambit is a charming master thief who later joined the X-Men. He possesses the mutant ability to charge inanimate objects with kinetic energy, causing them to explode. He's also extremely agile and hypnotically persuasive because of his powers. Gambit's signature move is throwing kinetically charged playing cards. So Gambit has the mutant ability to tap into the potential energy stored inside an object, and then transform that into kinetic energy by touching it. He can then charge the object and throw it at a target, and the object will release the energy and explode on impact. At his full power, he's even been able to charge any organic or non-organic matter within his line of sight with just a thought. However, while Gambit can do that, he usually just throws kinetically charged playing cards. He's also insanely accurate with those cards. Like Gambit was able to cut the tripwire on a nuclear device from 50 feet away, and was able to hit 3 zombies right between their eyes. Gambit's ability to tap into kinetic energy also grants him superhuman agility and dexterity. Like, for example, Remy can easily dodge gunfire and lasers, dodged all of Silver Samurai's attacks, and has great enough reflexes to deflect lasers and bullets as well. Gambit is also an excellent weapons fighter, and specializes in the Vought style of fighting with his bow staff. Also, this is pretty cool, he can quickly charge an object to increase his momentum, and give his hits a little bit of extra punch. Remy is incredibly clever, is one of the best thieves in the world, and is willing to gamble everything for those he loves most, hence his name. So who wins? Well, let's break it down. Now, I think it's safe to say that this is an extremely close matchup, as both these X-Men are really comparable, both range attacks and close quarter combat. But only one can come out on top. So first I want to take a look at long range attacks, and see how both of these heroes would fare with their cards and their optic blast. Now, Gambit's biokinetic charge is crazy powerful. It really is. He's taken down sentinels and robots with explosions, momentarily stunned Rogue and Sabretooth, and alongside Rockslide, Gambit generated one of the largest mutant force blasts that was ever recorded. He's quickly charged walls to take down enemies, used a few cars to blow up a large vehicle, charged a statue to cause a large explosion, beat thugs just by charging a little lighter, and he's knocked out a group of attackers just by throwing charged sand at them. So Gambit can charge basically any object and throw it at Cyclops, giving him a whole lot of versatility. But he definitely favors his playing cards. They are his signature weapon after all, and he's crazy accurate with them as well. He's hit Magneto in the small slot in his helmet, hit 3 zombies in the head at the same time, has thrown his charged staff down the barrel of a gun, and he's even cut a millimeter wire on a nuclear device over 50 feet away before the device can be detonated. However, so much of Gambit's range attacks can be countered by Scott's own range attacks. Like, while Remy is accurate, Scott has proven himself to be even more so. His accuracy has allowed him to blast missiles out of the air with absolute ease, blast a hole through a coin in the air, and he's even shut off the danger room before by hitting a control panel button by ricocheting his blast all over the room. And that's just to name a few of his accuracy feats. So, just based on everything that Scott has shown us, he should be able to tag most of Remy's cards just straight out of the air. And he should be able to hit anything else that Remy tries to throw at him. Cyclops' beam is also a whole lot more powerful than Gambit's cards. And as he hits the cards, it's possible the optic beam just keeps on traveling through. Like, it's been said that Cyclops' beams are capable of pulverizing adamantium. He's blasted through small mountains, hurt World War Hulk, one of the strongest iterations of the Hulk ever, and his beams have even overloaded several people, whose specific powers were to absorb energy. Scott even once said that he had enough power at his peak to destroy a small planet. Although this was never actually been proven, it would be a real high outlier if it's true. So Cyclops' beams are more powerful, and Scott is more accurate, and he should be able to blast away most of Gambit's attacks. Now the question is, can Remy dodge Scott's optic beams? Well, Gambit's speed and agility really is one of his greatest assets in this fight. He's been able to casually flip around and evade bullets and the projectiles, has avoided multiple blasts from Iron Man, dodged Archangel's pinions, and he's actually caught explosive rounds that were fired at him and just threw it back. He's even been able to deflect and catch Daredevil's baton and Captain America's shield when they were thrown at him. And we all know how skilled Matt and Steve are with their weapons. So Gambit will definitely be able to dodge several blasts from Cyclops. But by no means will it just be a walk in the park. Because just as Gambit is agile, Cyclops is just as accurate, and his accuracy extends to tagging opponents as well. In fact, Scott has consistently hit people who are just as fast, if not faster and more agile than Gambit. I mean, he's hit Wolverine, Northstar, Morbius, Beast, Quicksilver, and Spider-Man before, and that's just to name a few. Now, some of these guys he was able to tag just because of intuition or his ricochets, but you can't hold that against him, as that level of skill will help him tag Gambit as well. Cyclops is also arguably one of the best ricochet shots in the Marvel Universe, on the same level as people like Captain America and Hawkeye. He's used ricochet shots to take down multiple enemies at once, tag opponents who are attacking from behind, and has done things like hit Wolverine by bouncing his optic beams off the ground, or hit Beast by bouncing his beams off a mirror. That level of spatial awareness means that he essentially just instinctively knows every angle that he's got to hit. Then there's the fact that Cyclops was able to control the width of the beams, ranging from making microscopic energy wounds to creating big enough blast to clear an airplane landing strip or blasting holes through the bedrock of the planet. So Scott could always just hit Gambit by widening the width of those beams. Basically, Cyclops has almost every advantage when it comes to a ranged fight. But what about a close quarters, hand-to-hand fight? What happens there? Well, both of these guys are excellent fighters. No real doubt about that. However, it's kind of debatable which one is actually the more skilled fighter. I think I'd have to say Gambit, because he's fought more people using purely skill, uses his staff in combat, and is even able to enhance his own strength and speed using his kinetic manipulation. However, Cyclops is a really dangerous hand-to-hand fighter, mostly because he doesn't just use skill, he uses his powers and his optic beams in close fights as well. I mean, that's how Cyclops beat Wolverine, by using his beams in a fight as well as his skill. He's even battled against whole X-Men teams by using his powers and skill. Cyclops' beams are arguably even more dangerous in a close combat situation, because the beams are actually able to travel at the speed of light. It's just that Cyclops has to physically unleash the beam by pushing a button on the visor, and arguably the visor itself, that allows people to dodge the beam. And so in a close combat situation, when they're essentially right next to each other, Gambit is going to have a whole lot less time to dodge those blasts. Then, finally, I think it's a really important factor in this fight that these two heroes know each other. They know how the other thinks, and they know their fighting styles. But Cyclops, being the leader of the X-Men, well, he simply knows his X-Men too well. He spent years training them, learning their powers and fighting styles, helping them to become the best that they could possibly be, but at the same time, learning to take them down if necessary. Scott is an expert at analyzing opponents and planning his attacks, scoffed at the idea that he only had 26 different plans to take down Juggernaut, and it's likely that at some point he's thought of a way to take down Gambit. Really, at the end of the day, Cyclops just has too many advantages in this fight to lose. Cyclops wins. But what do y'all think? I would love to hear your thoughts. Sign off in the comments down below. Also, be sure to subscribe button. More videos just one every single weekday. And I'll see you